This is a day that the Lord has made. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Vanessa. It is Friday and it happens to be my day off. This is Real Time Friday. Let me see what is the temperature right now. I live in Arizona. It is 76 degrees right now, but it feels hot. Well, I just showered, so I always feel hot. September is my favorite, the beginning of my favorite season. The plan was for me to wake up at 8, but I naturally woke up a little after 6 and I decided, girl, get up. You got a list of things you wanted to do. I went to sleep with a whole bunch of things in my mind. So I went to the bathroom and I did go out to my backyard and did a lot of things. I'm so proud of myself for being so productive this morning. Of course, I prayed outside. It's my favorite place to pray, in my backyard, when the weather's good. And I was thinking of sharing something that's probably highly sensitive, but something that I strongly believe in. I'm going to be very cautious how I say what I say, but I need to say it. While I'm getting ready, I will chat it up. I'm just gonna do skincare. I have to take my son somewhere this morning. I think it was Tuesday. I received some news that I knew was always there in my community, and now I have the proof. It's out of my control per se, but yet there are things I can do, and I need to pray on it because I do want to make a change. The first thing I can do is put all of my time invested mainly in my son, and I keep talking to him about this. It makes me cry. It makes me so sad because I believe it's not just happening here in my community, it's happening everywhere. And I believe that, number one, the best solution is for us to read the Bible. This has the foundation for life. This has the foundation to be a good person, to be a hardworking person, to spend your money wisely, to make good decisions, to be kind, to know that your confidence comes from God. Following Jesus Christ as best as we can. I don't want to say too many things, the details, other than what happened Tuesday is affecting my Friday. And I will only say what I'm doing for my son, and I wish others did for their children. Ever since my son was little, I was always positive with him. Of course, when I had to discipline, this mama would discipline. Every now and then he'd probably get a spanking, a light spanking, but nothing like a beating, okay? Because there is a difference. I did not turn on the TV. I did not have a smartphone. I would sit with my son. I would read to him. I would play with him. Any toy I bought for my child, it was something to improve to help his motor skills, to help his cognitive skills, to help all of his skills. It was for him to learn. When he was 3, I had purchased a laptop for the first time ever. And I believe I stepped away, left my son in my room or wherever. But I always had like a gate and everything was always baby proof because it was always just him and I. There was nothing that would hurt him, and I always put the baby gate in whatever room I would leave him in while I had to go do something. Well, I had stepped away, and when I came back, he was on my laptop. Never showed him the laptop. He was only 3. Maybe even a little bit younger than 3, but basically 3. And I had my budget in there. I had pictures in there. I had things that I was tracking. I'm like, know. How did you figure out how to get on here? You know, instead of yelling at him. I was amazed. So at that point, I gave him his own little profile. So I said my profile and the username password. I gave him a username and password. And that's how I began to teach him how to write his name. He would have to type it in. And he has a long name, so I started with a few letters. And then when he got the hang of that over time, I'd add more to it and so on. He would get to do things on the laptop that I didn't need to teach him. But I know a lot of kids are like that. They just figure things out. We would have Legos to build things. We had the Connects to build things too. We would do puzzles. I did so many things with him. Yes, he's my only kid, but even if I had 2 kids, I think I'd still do the same. I also taught him about God, about Jesus. We would pray every day together, every night. I took him to church when he was younger because I did have him baptized. I had him in church until he was in 5th grade. Yeah, that's another story, but I taught him that he can do all things through Christ who strengthens him. I taught him that there's no weapon formed against him that shall prosper. Of course, he has to follow Jesus Christ. He has to do right. He has to be kind. He has to respect parents. Even though he has a situation he has, I have always taught him to respect me and his father. I have taught him all about the 10 Commandments. I've showed him to work hard. I show him that I show up to work every day. It's very rare that I take a day off. Of course, there's vacation and of course there's sick days. He's the kid that, he's so smart. He is very smart, but I do think that's just a gift from God. Maybe it has something to do with me because I was very smart. It could be genetics. It could be a gift from God. It could be the time that I spent with him. He was always very smart. And I remember he has a brother that's 4 years older than him. And when my son was about 6-ish, his brother would have been 10. And my son would talk, right? Would just speak to him like he normally would. And his brother's like, you talk fancy. Because my son had a high vocabulary. I don't even know the words to say. Like, my mind is a little bit frazzled thinking about the whole reason I'm doing this video. I taught my son that when you want something, you go for it. I taught my son that you don't give up, ever, no matter how hard it is. You don't give up. If you're committing to something, you stick with it. You are committed. I have taught him that it's not about you. When you're on a team, everyone is counting on you because it takes several people to make a team. And when you don't show up, that's a big problem. Okay, my son is the kid I was going to tell you that every day something hurt. My stomach hurts, my head hurts, my leg hurts. I have a headache. Whatever. I'm like, nope, you were in school, and if the school nurse, sends you home, then at that point, I will go pick you up. He knew Mama didn't play. We went to a new school his 6th grade year when we moved. We temporarily, because it was like less than a year, we did move out to the big city, Tempe, Mesa, Arizona. And I started a new job. He started a new school. So I explained to him, son, in a new job, I can't take any time off right now because I'm on probation. So he had been sent to the nurse. I don't know how he got to the nurse. Anyways, he was in the nurse's office and she was sending him home, and he said, my mom's not going to come pick me up. I got permission to go pick him up. Even though I raised him the way I did have, he will try. He's not perfect. He will test me. He will try to get away with things. But it's up to me, the parent, to say no, to implement, to enforce the rules. Another thing that I'm proud of, my kid. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Gifted program. I was in Gifted when I was in elementary school. I was in a public school though when they tested me. And I started my son out in a charter school, and then he decided he wanted to go to public school. And he's finally, a teacher recommended for him to get tested for Gifted. He's a better version than me. He just doesn't try. I think it's the way I was raised, and I have raised my son even, I don't want to say better, but in maybe a smarter way than I was raised, but still with the main principles. In his teenage years, he's brought himself way down. He doesn't get challenged. He's learned that to keep quiet, because if not, he gets in trouble. He's learned to change his language to get along with kids, to have friends, which I'm amazed at that. He told me years ago, he's like, Mom, I have to dumb myself down to be able for anyone to understand me and to get along with others. I'm like, kid, you are too young to be recognizing this, but I'm amazed. I'm glad that you recognize that you need to adapt. That's why I think him and I have really good conversations, because he's smart. I wish that other parents would invest their time in their kid. I know there's parents who have to work 2 to 3 jobs. There is ways to connect with your kid, to tell them your expectations, even if it's on paper, to make daily habits, to pray together, read a Bible scripture together. There's just too much going on that's not good. I'm proud that my son is not one of those kids that caused the situation that came about Tuesday. I'm trying to teach him to step up. He doesn't want to be a nerd. I don't know why. He just doesn't want to be a nerd. And I was a proud nerd. And I still have lots of friends. I just want him to be the change. And I think there's several ways that he does do that. But I don't want to pressure him, but I do think there's more ways. Because our world is going to crap. It is. And we have to make that change. And I won't say any more than that. Alright, y'all. Thank you for listening to me. I did want to say more, but I gotta go. I hope you have a great Friday, a great weekend. Remember, today is about the choices that you make, the habits you decide to create, the changes. All of that is up to you. Be the change, be the difference, be kind. I love you. I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe. I would love comments. I don't care if they're against what I've said. I would love it. And I'll see you guys next time.